and ever. Amen. Pray be seated. So, Honorable House now commences.
Item number 3, oath of allegiance or affirmation of a new member. Item number 4, confirmation of minutes.
Leader of Government Business.
Mr. Speaker, I beg to move that the minutes of the proceedings of a sitting of the House of Parliament, the House of Representatives, held at Parliament Chamber, Mount Wellesley, St. George's, on Tuesday, the 17th of June, 2025, be taken as read.
Honorable members, the question is that the minutes of the proceedings of a sitting of the House of Representatives held at Parliament Chamber, Mount Wellesley, St. George, on Tuesday, the 17th June, 2025, at 9 a.m. be taken as read. Those who have that opinion say aye. Aye. Of the contrary opinion say no. Minutes taken as read. Leader of Government Business.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, I beg to move that the minutes of the proceedings of a sitting of the House of Representatives held at Parliament Chamber, Mount Wellesley, St. George's, on the 17th of June 2025 at 9 a.m. be confirmed.
Honorable members, the question is that the minutes of the proceedings of a sitting of the House of Representatives held at Parliament Chamber, Mount Wellesley, St. George's, on Tuesday, the 17th June, 2025, at 9 a.m. be confirmed. Those who have that opinion say aye. Aye. Of the contrary opinion say no. Minutes taken as confirmed.
Item number 5, messages from the Governor General. Item number 6, announcements by Mr. Speaker.
Honorable members, I wish to inform this Honorable House of the bills which have been passed in this Honorable House and have received the assent of the Governor General. Appropriation Bill 2025, Budget and New Hospital Project Loan Authorization Bill 2025, Tax Administration, that's the Post-Hurricane Burial Fiscal Support, Special Measures Bill of 2025, the Eastern Caribbean Asset Management Corporation Amendment Bill 2025, Payment System and Services Bill 2025, Eastern Caribbean Deposit Insurance Corporation Bill 2025, Agreement on Immunities, Exemption, Privileges between the Corporation Adina de Fomento and Grenada Bill 2025, Bank Holidays Bill 2025, and the Grenada Tourism Authority Bill 2025. All of the above have received the assent from the Governor General. And I wish to also announce that as of August 1 to August 31st, Parliament would be on recess. Those are my announcements.
Item number 7, presentation of petitions. Item number 8, presentation of papers and reports from select committees.
Leader of Government Business.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, I wish to lay on the table the following papers and reports. Grenada Citizenship by Investment Report to the Grenada House of Parliament for the reporting period 1st of January 2024 to 30th of June 2024. Secondly, the Grenada Citizenship by Investment Report to the Grenada House of Parliament for the reporting period 1st of July 2024 to 31st of December 2024. Thirdly, Mr. Speaker, the NIS Grenada National Insurance Board Annual Report 2023 and the NIS Grenada National Insurance Board Annual Report 2024.
Thank you, Leader of Government Business. Honourable members, these papers and reports have now been laid.
Item number 9, unopposed private business. Item number 10, questions. Item number 11, urgent questions on the provisions of Standing Order number 20, notice of questions. Item number 12, statements by ministers.
Please proceed.
Item number 13, personal explanations.
Proceed.
Item number
No, proceed.
Item number 14, motions. Item number 15, bills.
Leader of Government Business.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, I beg to just give me a few minutes, Mr. Speaker. Just give me a few seconds, please, Mr. Speaker.
Go ahead.
All right, Mr. Speaker, thank you. Just wanted to align myself properly. So, Mr. Speaker, I beg to introduce for its first reading a bill for an act shortly entitled Constitution, Oath of Allegiance, Amendment Number 1, Bill 2025.
A bill which seeks to amend Schedule 3 of the Constitution and Schedule 1 to the court's order to change the oath of allegiance from His Majesty King Charles III, his heirs and successors, to Grenada, shortly entitled Constitution Oath of Allegiance Amendment Number 1, Bill 2025.
Leader of Government Business.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, I beg to move that the relevant standing order of the House be suspended to enable the bill to be taken through all its stages at this sitting.
Honourable members, the question is that the relevant standing order of the House be suspended to enable the bill to be taken through all stages at this sitting. Those of that opinion say aye. Aye. Of the contrary opinion say no. The ayes have it. Indeed, the ayes have it. Leader of Government Business.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, I rise to present this bill which seeks to amend.
I beg to move. Second reading.
Sorry. Mr. Speaker, I beg to move the second reading of the bill.
Honourable members, the question is that the bill be read a second time. Leader of Government Business.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, this bill seeks to amend Schedule 3 of the Constitution and Schedule 1 to the court's order to change the oath of allegiance from His Majesty King Charles III, his heirs and successors, to Grenada. This bill, Mr. Speaker, contains 6 clauses. Clause 1, Mr. Speaker, addresses the short title and the commencement date of the bill. This act, Mr. Speaker, shall enter into force on the first day of August 2025. And this, Mr. Speaker, coincides with the new date of emancipation, making a significant and symbolic change, underscoring Grenada's emancipation. Mr. Speaker, Clause 2 speaks to the interpretation of terms. Clause 3, Mr. Speaker, treats with amendment of Schedule 3 to the Constitution. Schedule 3 to the Constitution, Mr. Speaker, in the oath of allegiance, it is amended by deleting the words, His Majesty King Charles III, his heirs and successors, and substituting, therefore, the word Grenada in relation to the following provisions of the Constitution. In relation to Section 20, in respect of the Governor General taking the oath. Section 40, Mr. Speaker, in respect of the members of the House of Representatives or House of Parliament taking the oath. Section 65, Mr. Speaker, with respect to ministers of Parliament, parliamentary secretaries taking the oath. Section 95, subsection 1, in respect of citizens by marriage who are taking the oath, and 98, Mr. Speaker, citizens by marriage taking the oath. Clause 4, Mr. Speaker, seeks to amend Schedule 1 to the court order. Schedule 1 is amended by substituting His Majesty King Charles III, his heirs and successors, for Grenada. And Schedule 1 to the court order is amended in the oath for due execution of office and the affirmation for due execution of office by deleting the words His Majesty King Charles III, his heirs and successors, and substituting therefore Grenada. Clause 5, Mr. Speaker, speaks to consequential amendments to laws other than in the Constitution itself and the court order. And again, Mr. Speaker, making similar substitutions. Clause 6, Mr. Speaker, speaks to transitional provisions as to the oath of allegiance. And on the expiry of 12 hours immediately following the commencement of the appointed date, the oath of allegiance sworn or solemnly affirmed by any functionary prior to the appointed day shall cease to have force, and such functionary shall within 7 days immediately following the commencement of the appointed day swear or solemnly affirm to the oath of allegiance, which shall come into force with effect from the commencement of the appointed day, provided that if for any reason any functionary did not swear or solemnly affirm to the oath of allegiance within those said 7 days, such functionary shall be deemed to have sworn or solemnly affirmed thereto immediately upon the expiry of the 7-day period. Mr. Speaker, in this section, the appointed day refers to the first day of August 2025. Mr. Speaker, this change, substituting King Charles III, his heirs and successors, for Grenada, fits snugly with the words of our national anthem, as written by Mrs. Irva Merle Baptiste Blackett, that says, "Hail Grenada, land of ours, we pledge ourselves to thee." It is also consistent with our national pledge, Mr. Speaker, as written by Mr. Cresswell Julian OBE, which says, "I pledge allegiance to the flag and to the country for which it stands, with liberty, justice, and equality for all." Speaking about Grenada, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, both architects of the anthem and pledge, Grenadians, recognize the importance at the time of writing the pledge and anthem, recognize the importance of swearing allegiance not to the monarchy, but to Grenada. Mr. Speaker, both the national anthem and the national pledge are symbols of our national independence. But I have two important questions this morning, Mr. Speaker. Two questions. Mr. Speaker, why in 1974, when the Constitution was handed to us by our leaders, why did they not ensure that our allegiance was changed to Grenada instead of continuing allegiance to the monarchy? That's my first question, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, my second question is, why, after 51 years of becoming an independent state, no other leader, premier or prime minister, saw it fit to amend the Constitution to accommodate this important change? Why, after 51 years, Mr. Speaker, of independence from Great Britain, we continue to pledge allegiance to Great Britain. Mr. Speaker, I take this opportunity to pause and to thank our Honorable Prime Minister, Attorney General, and the citizens for constitutional reform for the work done to take us here. Because I believe this is important, Mr. Speaker, to us as a people to recognize that our allegiance should be to our country, to serve, protect, and honor our country. Mr. Speaker, I believe if, as a people, we begin to recognize the importance of emancipation, the importance of what it means to be Grenadian, I believe we will have less violence, less partisanship, and more togetherness, more unity, more love, and a strong knowledge our emancipation on the 1st of August. First time. Mr. Speaker, this is our second step towards genuine emancipation. My argument, Mr. Speaker, is that this bill has nothing to do with independence. This bill, Mr. Speaker, has nothing to do with independence. But instead, it has everything to do with our emancipation, our freedom, our severing of the umbilical cord to the monarchy. That's what this addresses. And becoming genuinely an independent nation. This bill, Mr. Speaker, comes at a time when Grenada is hosting the African and Caribbean Trade and Investment Forum, ACTIV. We welcome our African and Caribbean brothers and sisters, a symbol of our patriarchal unity. The forum, Mr. Speaker, is expected to ask a number of tough questions on how we can, together, forge stronger relationship with the African continent and Caribbean brothers and sisters. How can we come together to forge stronger relationships, stronger alliances? How can we, Mr. Speaker, leverage the advantage we have as a people? So, Mr. Speaker, the questions still remain unanswered. How should we commemorate our emancipation? Is it a time when we showcase our creativity in dance and culture and the performing arts? Should we acknowledge our athletes who have made us proud across various sporting disciplines? Is that what emancipation should really be? Should we showcase our breadfruit, our cocoa, nutmeg, and other national crops, and the many value-added products that our creative sons and daughters of this land has created for us as food? Should we showcase our many products made by Grenadian hands? Should we buy and eat local just for 31 days, the month of August, every year? Should we wear our national colors for 31 days during the month of August, every year? Should we erect landmarks of our achievement as a proud people, as a symbol of our emancipation? Should we? Should we reflect on our past? On what it meant to be Africans? Africans from the Congo, Africans from Nigeria, Africans from Angola, Senegal, Gambia, Cameroon, Liberia, Ivory Coast. You see, this is where we came from, Mr. Speaker. Should we reflect on where we came from? Should we be tracing back our roots? Should we, Mr. Speaker, be reflecting on the journey across the Atlantic? What it was like being packed as sardines. And the horrors that we endure that make us so strong and resilient as a people. Should we reflect on the time spent on the plantation as Massa paraded the plantation and looking at his slaves that he owned, he possessed, work and sweat and bleed and die on the plantation and imprisoned sometimes. Should we reflect on what it meant to be a runaway slave? What should we be reflecting on? What does emancipation mean to us, Mr. Speaker? Should we be reflecting on the rebellion? Mr. Speaker, I'm taking in front of us for just a few more minutes, just about 2 more minutes to wrap up. I recognize my time has expired. Okay, said I still have a little more time. Thank you. But, Mr. Speaker, should we really be reflecting on the rebellion? How we rebelled against Massa, how we burned down the plantation, how we ran away, and how we sat and planned how we could escape this thing. Oh, Mr. Speaker, how we dreamed of becoming the owners of the same plantation. How we planned to become an independent nation. How we dreamed of becoming the owners of this plantation. All you think we gonna make it, boy? All you think we gonna make it? And when we get this plantation, how we gonna becoming rich? And instead of we working for them, one day they will be working for us. The dreams and aspiration of a slave. Mr. Speaker, should we reflect on our heroes, the great Julian Fedor? Should we reflect on the great Albert Marichaux? The great Eric Matugeri? I will stop here because you got to call a lot of great men. But, Mr. Speaker, I mean, that's the roadmap, towards this discussion today. Well, what really emancipation means? Should we define our nationalism and what it truly means to be Grenadian? Mr. Speaker, I want to leave these questions to be answered by us, the Grenadian people, as we, in the years to come, begin a genuine discussion towards emancipation. Mr. Speaker, because these questions have to be answered. These questions have to be answered. We have to build a nation. The Grenadian people has chosen wisely, chosen the best amongst us to become members of Parliament, giving us the opportunity to lead. And I believe, Mr. Speaker, when I sit in cabinet and I listen to the sound wisdom of our Prime Minister and our cabinet colleagues, I believe, Mr. Speaker, despite the noises, that Grenada has a great opportunity to build and to rise from here. So, Mr. Speaker, I want to leave these thoughts with us, and I want to commend this bill for discussion, because I believe it's an important discussion that we must have. This bill, Mr. Speaker, in conclusion, I don't believe it has anything to do with independence. I believe the right thing should have been done with independence at the time of independence, which is to swear allegiance to our country. But it's a step in the right direction. This bill, Mr. Speaker, this morning has everything to do with severing the umbilical cord to the monarchy, embracing our freedom as a people, and marching forward with a sense of pride, honor, and dignity. One nation, one people. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Thank you, Leader of Government Business. I now invite the MP for St. Andrew, Northwest.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, I rise to make my contribution in support of the Constitution Oath of Allegiance Amendment Number 1, 2025. Mr. Speaker, I rise first to express my full support for the proposed change to the Oath of Allegiance so that history will record that I stood firmly on the side of national identity, dignity, and sovereignty. As a representative of the people, it's only right that our highest oath reflects loyalty to Grenada and not to any foreign sovereignty. Mr. Speaker, I rise not just as a member of Parliament, but as someone who believes that symbols matter, names matter, words matter, and where we place our allegiance must reflect who we are as a people. Mr. Speaker, this bill replaces an oath to His Majesty's King Charles III, his heirs and successors, with the oath to Grenada, our home, our people, our future. Mr. Speaker, this is a declaration of identity. As we debate the bill, Mr. Speaker, I cannot help but think of other spaces in our society where the need to honor our own is just as pressing. I look forward to the day when we rename institutions like Princess Alice Hospital to honor a true Grenadian medical pioneer like Dr. Lawrence Gibbs, whose lifelong service and impact on health care in Grenada deserves national recognition. Similarly, I look forward to seeing Victoria Park renamed to reflect our sporting heritage, perhaps after a legend like Wesley Bataille Thomas, whose contribution to sports and community upliftment continue to inspire generations. This bill, Mr. Speaker, is part of a broader movement to center Grenada in Grenada, to reaffirm that we are capable of defining our values, shaping our identity, and recognizing our own heroes. When our leaders take an oath, it should serve Grenada. That is what this bill does. It is a step forward, deepening our independence. And so I am proud to support this amendment. May it be the beginning of many more changes that place Grenada and Grenadians at the heart of our public institution and national commitment. I thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, MP, for the constituency of St. Andrew Northwest, and I noticed the light of the MP for the town of St. George. I now give you the floor, and I remember.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, it is a good day when we as a people who we represent here today take a step in the direction of furtherance of our emancipation, independence, and freedom. Mr. Speaker, it's a good day. I am happy that we have dedicated this day by, I know there were some other bills that would generate a lot of discussion, and I had a view on it, but I'm glad that that has been put down for first reading, and that we are going to focus on what makes us happy today. Mr. Speaker, a bill that pays tribute to all of the struggles of our ancestors. And those struggles began, Mr. Speaker, on the day that the first Africans were placed on the slave ships. Mr. Speaker, that quest has persisted up until this day. Because you see, emancipation, freedom, and all of that is a process that we have to engage in every single day. We did not get independence, as people like to say. We fought. And by we, I mean all of our people throughout our history fought. Slaves were not granted freedom, as suggested in some of the books. Slaves fought for freedom. Slaves earned their freedom through struggle, through death. Fedon and other persons who were not slaves but certainly fought for independence. So it has been a history of constant struggle. Each generation playing its role toward that emancipation, that freedom, that independence that we all seek. And Mr. Speaker, we, just as the slaves used the tools that they had to fight for their freedom, so too we have to use the tools that we have to gain that freedom. We have to use the tools to continue the struggle of people like Fedon and Marshall and Gary and Blaise and Bishop and others who have come before us with that dream of a free, united people. A free, united people. February 7th is the day we received formal independence. The day our politicians signed a document in Britain granting us formal independence. But Mr. Speaker, just like emancipation did not give us freedom on that day in 1834, because if you look at the post-emancipation period, our people still remained in bondage. Emancipation did not grant freedom, did not allow freedom, Mr. Speaker. The same way February 7th, 1974 itself did not give us independence. It is a process that we have to continue to fight for, to struggle for. It was not the completion, it was a stage in the process of emancipation, and we have a long way to go. Future generations will continue this battle. The British Lords still remain our highest court. I mean, the British Lords, I have to go before the British Lords. We have a long way to go. The King of England still remains our head of state, still our king. That has to change. But today, we take a step. And the people we elect to serve us, imagine this, they swear allegiance to another king. I put my ex by a man and I say, you go represent me in that parliament, and when you get to the parliament, you put your hand on the Bible and you say, I swear allegiance to a king in England. Do you think there's a single Englishman or Englishwoman that would tolerate their prime minister putting his hand on a Bible in London to swear allegiance to Deacon Mitchell, the Prime Minister of Grenada? Do you know any Englishman or Englishwoman that will do that? No, they will rebel. It won't be thought of, but yet we do it because we are still enslaved, my brother says, colonized, other people say, because we have not achieved. But we have made progress. That is why I disagree with my brother when he said nobody else did anything. All of the previous governments and leaders have tried and have done, and we'll get to that momentarily. The fact is, it is a continuous struggle. Let us not go down into tribal war to decide who did more than who. We all must engage in that struggle. It is a battle. Brothers and sisters, members of Parliament, sorry, Mr. Speaker, I digress there. There are some who question whether or not we have the right to do it here. Some people say, you know, we tried it in referendum, it didn't work, and now we're trying to subtly get it through. You know, quite frankly, I want to pay tribute to Dr. Alexis, Dr. Grenade, and the other members of the committee. I sat with them, and I had discussions with them that they are convinced and have convinced me that this parliament has the power to do what we are doing here today. I do not have the time to go into the details. Dr. Alexis and his committee can be engaged on that. But I want to say that that committee have used the tools available to us. Just as the slaves used the tools available to them, and of our parents in the 60s used the tools available to them, Dr. Alexis and his team have used the legal tools at their disposal to get here. And I want to salute members of that committee for finding it to get us here. You see, I have always held the view that the British played a lovely trick on us. They gave us a very divisive political system, a political system that divides us into this side and that side. And if that side do X, that side vex. And if this side do X, that side vex. That is a system we've inherited. And we have embraced it as if it means democracy. Democracy does not mean democracy where people just fight each other. Democracy means where the people, you remember them, the people who put us here? Their voices to be heard. And then, why is there this division? My view, it is as a system set up that way. And here's what has been done as the trick. They then set up a model to tell us we must be united to change that system. So you make us divided, and then you tell us to unite to change the system. And we persist in that. I believe that this fight for this oath to be changed started way back. On the day of emancipation, on the day of independence, on all those historic junctures, people have said, we want freedom. We want emancipation. We want independence. Gary stands high because he brought independence. What is this about? My brother is correct. It is about independence, but independence is also about emancipation. It's about all of the struggles of our people throughout the years to gain the independence that we seek. And it's about integrity. But that is why we seem unable to change any constitutional provision. My brother said it was not attempted. It was attempted. And I want to pay tribute to the former Prime Minister, Dr. Michel, who boldly sought to change our constitution through referenda. And what happened with that? That descended into tribal war. I remember one parliamentarian said at the time, I agree with it, but not under that government. The point I'm making, brothers and sisters, when something is right, it is right. When something is wrong, it is wrong. We have both erred and fallen short. So today we have an opportunity to come together. Let us do it. Previous governments, previous leaders have attempted. But because of the tribal nature of the system that was bequeathed to us, we end up fighting over things that we agree on. And that has penetrated the people. So you have people who are fighting simply because it does not fit the color code. There's a color code, you see, that has been set. And that color code, when you press that button, that color come up, boom, you're against it. When things change, boom, you agree with it. Let us all agree on doing what is right. You see, brothers and sisters, Dr. Alexis was trained at the University of the West Indies, but more importantly, he went to Cambridge. So he knows the tricks of the British because he was trained by them. So he has found, along with his team, a way to get us here. And I want us to salute that effort. Not say that Dr. Alexis is trying to circumvent the Constitution. No, this man has fought for our Constitution. He has found a way, and they have found a way to do it using the tools available to us, the legal tools. And that is what brings us here. Brothers and sisters, members of Parliament, and there's no better time to do this than on the eve of emancipation, because the truth is, it is a process begun with the proclamation of emancipation, which really didn't emancipate the slaves. The slaves remained slaves. In fact, to this day, we are feeling the impact. That's why reparations have become such a big issue. It is an issue we need to address as a people, because emancipation simply meant, and you know, there's an argument, and Dr. Williams, in his book, Capitalism and Slavery, said that the reason why emancipation took place, and there's a good argument, is because of the economic needs of the British Empire. But that is a whole other argument. In other words, it was not because there was any desire to give freedom to black people, because it became economically untenable for the British to support the slaves, so to give them freedom. Go feed yourself, we won't feed you anymore, but we keep you in shackles, which is where we as nations of the region stand today. Members, as we continue on this journey toward full independence, I urge us, if there is one thing I once said in my funeral, is that we have fought for the unity of this country. Too many times we disagree on things because of that color code. As a people, we need to forge ahead together to achieve independence, sovereignty, and all of the other things that we need for our country. Let us not let our tribal political instincts keep us from achieving that. You know, I was speaking to a young man recently in one of my engagements, and the young man said, you know, he was talking about all the violence and all the stuff that is happening. He said, you know what, young people need something to believe in. Something to believe in. Some cause, some vision, some hope for this country to believe in. That is not there. Too many times I believe our politics is just transactional for the colors, for the tribes. I look forward to the future. I look forward to claim what my brother Talisford said, that we should be discussing how we become a republic, how we get rid of the Privy Council, how we deepen our democracy. You know, I had a discussion with a group up in St. Andrew the other day, and they were saying, you know, they elect people to parliament and they don't see them, and then somebody mentioned a provision that exists in California and some other states where halfway during your term, the people can write in for what they call a recall. That gives people power. I am not suggesting we do that. I'm suggesting that people need to give us jobs, but people need to keep the power. And that is why we as politicians, and we are all subject to it, need to always ensure that we account to the people. We cannot simply tell our people to follow the scheme. We must admit that those referenda that we urge and some people urge to vote against would have solved a lot of these problems. In those referenda, Dr. Alexis again was very passionate during that struggle, and a mistake was made, just as a mistake was made when we said back in 1974, independence yes, under Gary no. 5 minutes, Mr. Speaker. That's the
Honourable Member, 1 minute more.
But that's a warning bell, Mr. Speaker.
1 minute more granted, Honourable Member. 1 minute more.
Mr. Speaker, I'm just asking a procedural matter.
I have responded.
You have not, Mr. Speaker, but I'll conclude. I look forward, Mr. Speaker. I was just saying that we normally get a warning bell to say 5 more minutes, so I know, but I can't keep stuck there and talk. But anyway, as it pleases you, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, I want to say this in closing. I look forward to the discussions in the future. I look forward to working with members on the other side. I want to suggest to members on the other side that sometimes you need to do what's called a white paper. We can learn that from our old colonial masters, so that people have a document they can look at, and we can come back here. We can set up bipartisan committees in the House so that we work together. It helps our communities. It helps to solve some of these wars that are taking place. If people see us politicians working together to solve common problems. And I want to say again, today is a good day. As we deepen our independence, as we move forward, today is a good day. But it is again just another step. And I want to say to the committee members, keep up the good work. Dr. Alexis, you have remained undaunted with the losses that took place in the last referenda, and you continue because you have faith. As a member of parliament, I have faith that we as a people, if we come together, if we focus as the member for St. George's South East said, on what is right, we will get it right, and our people are looking at us. Let us not divide our nation, Mr. Speaker. Let us pull it together. And today, as we conclude this phase, and I am hopeful that it will be passed, I want to simply say this, Mr. Speaker. Thank you. Thank you for this bill. I want to commend this bill, Mr. Speaker, but I also want to say in closing, as a member of parliament, I swear allegiance to Grenada, the country that we all love so dearly. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Thank you, Honourable MP, for the tongue of St. George. Sense is the MP for St. Andrews Southwest.
So, thank you, Mr. Speaker, sir. Mr. Speaker, I rise with humility, but also with pride and a sense of purpose and a sense of achievement to give my full support to this bill. And I do share the words that today is a good day. It's a good day for all of us Grenadians, at home and abroad. Because this bill, Mr. Speaker, will make a qualitative difference in the lives of our people, of how we see ourselves as Grenadians. And so, Mr. Speaker, I want to say that as I give support to this bill, Mr. Speaker, it represents a break with the past. It represents a change in the status quo. It is a paradigm shift in the way in which we think and see ourselves and the values that we adopt and we portray and we inculcate in our society. It is a change in the conventional wisdom that small island states like ours cannot have real economic independence, that we must have allegiance to some foreign metropole whom we don't see, whom we don't know, and whose relation with us has never been for the benefit of us. Mr. Speaker, this bill is preparing us as Grenadians to be a new Grenadian, a different Grenadian, a Grenadian rooted, deeply rooted in the values of nationalism, a Grenadian rooted in the values of patriotism, love to one's homeland and to one's people. A Grenadian with a disposition and a readiness to give his life for a cause that is just and dignified. A Grenadian who now looks at each other and see each other as one people. A Grenadian who is now prepared to work as a people to build a better Grenadian, a better Grenada for us all. That is what this bill is preparing us to be, a different kind of Grenadian. And I'm saying that, Mr. Speaker, because I want to go back a little bit in my early years of formation. In my early years of formation, Mr. Speaker, we heard about the Union Jack. And they used to sing God Save the Queen. It didn't mean much to many of us. We didn't know what that meant. It was no motivation to any of us. But then later on, Mr. Speaker, with the Grenada Revolution, we used to chant. We used to chant Forward March. We chanted Forward March. We chanted, Grenadians have a vision and to mystery and corruption. Grenadians, end to mystery and corruption. We had a vision. And therefore, in my early years of formation, that meant something to me. That was saying to me that as a Grenadian, my vision is to end corruption, that I had a vision, and to build Grenada with my soul, with good values. It made sense to me then. And so, Mr. Speaker, I am saying to you that what this bill is seeking to do is to give us as a people a sense of national identity. It is defining us. It is saying to us who we are, Grenadians, what we do. We must be proud of what we do. But it's also saying to us that as a people, we must work together to create a better home and a better place for all Grenadians. So we're looking inward. We're looking at ourselves. That's the value, in my humble opinion, Mr. Speaker, about this bill. So this bill, Mr. Speaker, it gives us that strong sense of patriotism. Our allegiance is not for no other country. Our oath, our affirmation in words, in public, is to say that my loyalty and my commitment is to my country, which I am prepared to fight for and to die for and to defend at all costs. And that's the value. That's the value of a good Grenadian. And that's what we have to teach our people and teach our children. From an early age, our children must get that sense of value, that they are important, that in them there is something useful, and they must use it for the betterment, not just of themselves, but for our country. So we can feel a sense of pride. We would feel happy and proud to go anywhere and to say, I am a Grenadian. That's the value of this bill, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, this bill is inculcated in us that we must work and produce, that we have to produce industries, that if we want to be proud, if we want to go anywhere and speak about ourselves as Grenadians, we must have industries. So our pride must lie in our industry. So our chant must be industry and pride. Industry and pride. And that's what this bill is doing. It is pointing us. It is pointing us to a new way of thinking, to a new way of seeing ourselves. It is pointing us to recognizing that we are valuable, that we are useful, that we can do great things, that we can make others proud of us, that we can make others want to come to us, read about us, speak about us. What it is that defines this small nation. How come this small nation can produce so many outstanding sons and daughters whose work are not just historic but relevant? How come this small nation can produce so many sons and daughters whose work can impact the lives of people all over the world? Sons and daughters who are not just mere historic, but who are relevant. They live forever. That's the value of this bill. And therefore, for the first time, I come to this parliament And I'm doing something really good for our people. Because I'm saying to our people that with this bill, we have to come to realize who we are. Grenadians, proud, productive, positive, independent. Yeah? And Mr. Speaker, what, in fact, we are doing with this bill is that we are continuing the work of the great leaders who came before us. Those who fought against the metropole and said to them, we want our political independence as the basis for us achieving our economic independence. And they were brave, they were fearless, they were committed, they were clear in their heads what they wanted for our people and for our country. They understood very well that as a people, we were quite capable, intelligent, and convicted enough to take charge of our country's development and to give our people a better life. They were clear in their heads that the relation that we had with our metropole could have never led to an improvement in the lives of the majority of our people. And they went fearlessly to the metropole. And in some cases, many gave their lives and said to them, we, as a people, can develop our own country. Of course, we need your help, but that decision about what is good for us must come from us, must come from within. And therefore, what we have to do, Mr. Speaker, and with this bill, we have to continue the work of those who came before us and fought for political independence. What we have to do, Mr. Speaker, is to work towards achieving that economic independence that our people need. And economic independence simply means that we must be able to produce the goods and services that we consume. But also, we must be able to pay for those goods and services that we don't produce, but we consume. And that's the value of this bill. This bill is sending that special message to our Grenadian people that our allegiance, our affirmation must be to Grenada and its development. And let us all join our time, join our talent, join our treasure, and work together and create a better life for our people. And so, Mr. Speaker, I also want to give credit to the citizen for constitutional reform, Dr. Alexis and his team. I think you should stand and take a bow with Dr. Alexis. You also stand and take a bow. That's the quality of the Grenadian that we must speak about, that we produce. That's the kind of Grenadian that we need to produce. Grenadians who are Grenadians. Grenadians who believe in us Grenadians. Grenadians who share our values, our idiosyncrasies, our way of life. Grenadians who are proud to be Grenadians, and Grenadians who will utilize their brain cells. 5 more minutes, sir. Grenadians.
Honourable Member, 1 minute more is given.
Grenadians who would utilize their brain cells to devise and to design projects and programs and policies all geared towards the improvement of the lives of every single Grenadian. Mr. Speaker, I am so happy this morning. I feel young. I feel rejuvenated. I feel motivated. I feel animated. I feel captivated. I am tantalized by having to come to this Parliament this morning and present this bill to the Grenadian people, and to say to the Grenadian people that for the very first time, you now have a bill in Parliament that looks after you, that sees you and knows you, that likes you, and that gives you that drive, that enthusiasm, that motivation to work towards being a better Grenadian and to make Grenada a better place for all of us to live, so that we can be proud, we can feel dignified, and we can go anywhere in the world and put up our hands and say, I am a Grenadian. That's what it's been about. Pride. And I'm proud, and I'm saying it now, proud to be Grenadians. So my allegiance, my oath, my verbal affirmation, my loyalty is to my homeland and my people, Grenada. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Honorable MP for St. Andrew South West. People St. George Northeast.
Good morning, Mr. Speaker, and greetings to everyone gathered here. Mr. Speaker, I rise to offer my full support to this bill and to take the opportunity to mark, just as you have done, the work by Government of Grenada to now recognize August 1st as the official Emancipation Day in Grenada, Carriacou, and Itimatou. This, I believe, is another attempt for us as a people to rise above the misrepresentation of our historical past and forge ahead with clarity on our future. A nation that does not know or remembers its past is doomed to repeat it. True. It reminds us, Mr. Speaker, similar to the fight of post-revolution, where this quote-unquote hypocrisy was only to recognize October 25th. And when those who said this is not about putting anybody out there as heroes, but it is about us as Grenadians also recognizing that where there is great triumph, there were great failures of our nation, and as a nation, we must seek to recognize October 19th. So again, the government of Grenada, Mr. Speaker, is demonstrating, although many of us may be small by age, even stature, but most importantly, we are about taking on big items that is going to build our country and hopefully one day, as many members have said, unite our people. Mr. Speaker, this amendment is a significant step to our focus, not just to detach our historical colonial dependence, but to underscore most importantly that importance and principle of self-reliance and self-sufficiency, and achieving the true potential of national freedom and independence. The amendment to the oath, Mr. Speaker, is not just symbolic, but allows us to reflect deeply of how our society is operating even today. We are driven by hearsay. We are driven by what people tell us is right, even though we ourselves know what is right from wrong. And that reliance on an external factor to guide us is what has been causing Grenada and the rest of the Caribbean to be somewhat in this backward state of mind and not liberate itself, believe in itself, and forge ahead. So, Mr. Speaker, we believe most importantly that as policymakers, we must swear allegiance not to a foreign entity, but to the people, the tanties, the mothers, the fathers, the children, those who go out in the polling stations, those who struggled for years to get access to housing, those who have struggled, Mr. Speaker, to make economic gains, not just for themselves, but the entire family, those who toil in the sun and rain to earn a living. We must swear allegiance to them, because it is because of them we believe that people are elected and the country is moving forward. Mr. Speaker, as mentioned earlier on, there is belief strongly supported, not by hearsay again, but by facts, that this amendment does not require constitutional referendum the reform does not require a referendum. I think we need to make this point, because for some instance, there might be some who would say otherwise. You never could tell. And so, before going down that road, we must be honest and ask the question, is there any facts to suggest the alternative? And if none exists, then we must further ask the question, then what is the argument? Mr. Speaker, honestly, I believe unity cannot be plucked from the sky, and this, honestly, is an attempt to bring us together. The question is, are we willing to come together now? And as mentioned earlier on, I want to pay homage, as I conclude, to Dr. Francis Alexis and the Independent Committee on Constitutional Reform, led by him and other great Grenadians, for their work. Mr. Speaker, I too would like to acknowledge the efforts of the past administration, genuinely, which I believe they attempted to. But, Mr. Speaker, like with all other events of the past, there is always this shackle of partisanship. The question I think we now need to ask ourselves is, how do we resolve that? We cannot come here, Mr. Speaker, just because we believe X government is in office and we don't support it now, but we were supporting it prior. And so, if you genuinely believe that we need to change this, and we believe in the people of Grenada, I ask you to support this bill. Mr. Speaker, thank you. And I want to say officially, I, Honorable Ron Livingston Redden, pledge allegiance to Grenada, Carriacou, and Petite Martinique, and the people who occupy it. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Honorable MP, for the constituency of St. George Northeast. Honorable Leader of the Opposition.
Thank you very much, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, I rise this morning and want to commend, first of all those who have been part of the process of promoting, defending.
Honorable MP, just hold, please. I want to make the point that once you come into the House of Parliament, it's very procedural that you put your phone on vibrate or turn it off. When an honorable MP is on the floor, the screens of a phone should not be disturbing them. So I just want to sound the alarm to the rest of us sitting in. Proceed, please, Honorable.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. So, Mr. Speaker, I was making the point that I want to use this opportunity to commend all of those who have been part of the process of promoting this bill, debating this bill, defending this bill publicly. And I speak specifically here of members of the CRC, headed by Dr. Francis Alexis, former Member of Parliament. Mr. Speaker, as I sat and I listened to the presenter of this bill and a few other presentations thereafter, Mr. Speaker, certain statements would have convinced me this morning that this bill, for some members of this House, might just be about political expediency and not so much about nationalism and patriotism as has been presented. So, Mr. Speaker, when you bring a bill like this and you begin to talk about who first is proposing change and who did nothing in the past and who is hypocrite, Mr. Speaker, and who is not, Mr. Speaker, it defeats the very purpose for which this bill is taken to this House. So, Mr. Speaker, I want to use the opportunity to share why it would be very difficult to support this process that we are going through this morning. Mr. Speaker, the bill, Constitution Oath of Allegiance Amendment Bill number 1, 2025, which proposes, as we all know, to change the wording on 2 occasions. So I want to state categorically, Mr. Speaker, we have absolutely no objection to this change. We have no objection to this change. As I said before, we're not a flip-flop organization. We don't change our position based on the side of the House that we sit. And that is why we have absolutely no reservation in saying that this change that is proposed, that we are supportive of this change. But, Mr. Speaker, let me hasten to add that while we support this, we have a fundamental problem with the haste and the process that this is going through. Mr. Speaker, throughout the length and breadth of this country, people are concerned. People are concerned, Mr. Speaker, of the limited education, the limited information, and I would add the silence from the government tabling this bill today. Mr. Speaker, as I said, we totally, absolutely support the change in the wording of the oath of allegiance of this country. So, Speaker, after 50 years, we consider it a noble move. We consider it the correct move, Mr. Speaker, to make this change. But I say to you, Mr. Speaker, this morning, we on this side cannot, in good conscience, support this without the support of the people of Grenada, Carriacou, and Peter Martin. Mr. Speaker, therefore, in principle, we support. We don't believe that this Parliament should be an opportunity, a doorway to bypass the views and opinions, the choices of the people of this country. And that is why, Mr. Speaker, we are forced to say this morning that while we do not argue, we will not present any argument here as to whether this requires a referendum or not. But we are simply saying, Mr. Speaker, that the mere fact that this particular item of change was brought to the people of this country before, last in 2016, and the people of this country rejected it. We are saying it is only decent to hear from the people what their views are on this occasion. Mr. Speaker, I heard so much about democracy. So much about democracy. And I'm going to quote what was actually said about democracy. Democracy is where, and I'm talking about this morning, Mr. Speaker, if you were following, it was said this morning. Democracy is where the people's voices are heard. And therefore, Mr. Speaker, we are saying, based on our interaction with people, based on what we have gathered from people, we are saying we are not yet ready to make this change through the Parliament this morning. We are saying, therefore, Mr. Speaker, take this back to the people of Grenada, Carriacou, and Petite Martinique. Mr. Speaker, they exercised their democratic right in 2016. Let us not deny them that opportunity this time around. Mr. Speaker, when we brought this in 2016, we had 15 seats in this Parliament. 15 seats. So, as somebody said, why we didn't bring it before? And another member said, well, let us see who is the first person to bring it. Why no other Prime Minister did it? Well, Mr. Speaker, I asked the question the next way around. Why is it no other head of state? Why is it that no other Prime Minister of this country used the Parliament to pass this bill? Let's flip the question around. So this cannot be trivialized to who first brought it and who first going to get it passed, and if we're going to have an African expo or whatever, Mr. Speaker, it can't be trivialized. It cannot be trivialized to in a couple of days we're going to be having a celebration, and that this is going to be symbolic for the celebration. It has to be deeper, Mr. Speaker, and deeper means bringing the people along on this important matter. So, Mr. Speaker, we too had more than one engagement with learned attorney at law, respected Dr. Francis Alexis. As a matter of fact, we had two. Major engagements. As a matter of fact, let me make this point. About a year ago, when Dr. Alexis and his team met with us, we gave our commitment to this, even before the government would have given their commitment to the team. So there's no question about how we feel about this. What we are saying is that we should not use the Parliament in this current situation to bypass the feelings of the people, the views of the people on this particular matter. So even if we have the right, what precedents are we setting? That because we have the power, because we have the right to do it, let's just do it. It doesn't matter what people think. We can't support this, Mr. Speaker. We have listened. As a matter of fact, in the last couple of weeks, we have been hearing out people on this. And you know what we conclude? That even if we feel strongly about this matter, it's not about us only. And we cannot afford to ignore the people. So all that we ask, and this was our request, let us give them this some more time. That's all we ask, you know. All that we ask was give some more time so that people can be educated. And what did we do? We went further. And we said, we are prepared to join with the government. We are prepared to join with CRC to grow. Mr. Speaker spoke about unity. Mr. Speaker, if you ask me, I believe in the history of this country that this is the best opportunity to unite this country. Government and opposition going out there together, promoting this bill. I believe, fundamentally so, that this provides an excellent opportunity. Because what we had on 2 occasions, and the member is right, the only thing he didn't say is that the persons who were saying no at the time was no one over here. It was on that side of the house. So he's very correct to say that we've been too divided on this subject, on these important matters that we glorify today. We had 2 opportunities, Mr. Speaker, to do this. We had 2 opportunities to do this. And we are saying this morning, Mr. Speaker, that we lost 2 opportunities. And we are not going to go into blaming anyone except to say, here is a golden opportunity, hand in hand, government and opposition, in every constituency, saying, this is best for all of us. Let us do it together. One member said, Mr. Speaker, this is the first time he has come to this house to do something good for the people. Well, I say this morning, we're not doing anything here for the people unless we have the people involved in the process. So think about it. The level of consultation that took place in 2014, members here, up and down, resources spent to consult with people, to educate people. Mr. Speaker, on top of all of this, the people said no. Well, why do we want to have a situation where we don't do that measure of consultation and we just come because we have the power to change it? Mr. Speaker, having listened to the people of this country, I cannot, in good conscience, join those who say that this is the best thing that they've ever done. This is the best day in the parliamentary history. I cannot say this. To say this, Mr. Speaker, I want to be convinced that the people of this country are with us on this change. For what good would it be, Mr. Speaker, that we make this change? The King of England remains the head. What good does it do? And the people are left behind. Think about it. What good does it do that we pass this bill? The King's representative will still come to read the throne speech. And the people would be left behind on such an important decision. What good? Political optics to make an announcement on Emancipation Day? To name a new hero? Because you stopped at, Gary, you couldn't go further. To name a new hero? What is it? What is the urgency, Mr. Speaker, that we have to do this today? Why not next week? Why not next month? I am saying, Mr. Speaker, we cannot support the government on this approach that leaves the people of this country behind. Let us join together. Let's go out in every constituency. It would be my pleasure to have a platform with members of the government on this subject matter, which we are prepared to do for the people. For one reason, the people of Grenada, Carriacou, and Petit-Martinique, because, Mr. Speaker, that's who we are most concerned about in this matter. Not delegates coming from African Conference. Not Emancipation Day celebration. Our concern, the people of Grenada, Carriacou. Let's do it for them, Mr. Speaker. Let's do it for them. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Leader of the Opposition. Yes, the Honorable MP for... No, I saw his light first. Smoke and grow.
It's back! Grenada! The NLA gives you you chances for free access to SMC shows and other major shows from July 14th to August 9th. Every time you spend $15 in Daily Cash 4, Daily Pick 3, or Playway in a single purchase, check your ticket to see if the words "You are a winner" is written on it. And just like that, your access is granted. Present your winning ticket at the gate of your preferred carnival show for free entry. Over 450 gate passes are up for winnings instantly, Monday to Saturday. Secure yours early. The more $15 you spend in daily games, the more chances you have to win free gate passes. Spice Mass is on, and the NLA is making your carnival dreams affordable. See stores for show options. Must be 18 or older to participate. Terms and conditions apply. NLA, proud main sponsor of Spice Mass 2025.
Tell them it's master. I quit till my last drop.
Well, good morning and welcome. It's time for the NLA's Daily Pick 3 with Multi-X mid-morning draw for today, Thursday, the 24th of July, 2025. I'm Lexanne Fletcher, your draw hostess for this morning, and joining me is Miss Aaliyah Malcolm. She's representing RSO Company Limited Accountants and Advisors. Ms. Malcolm is here to ensure the games are conducted in a fair and accountable manner, that the game balls have not been tampered with and are within industry standards. Just to remind you, access granted is off to a great start, of course. Hopefully you're taking part of access granted. You need to spend at least $15 to, of course, reap the benefits, I like to say, on a single ticket purchase on Cash 4, Pick 3, and Playway games with the exclusion of Multi-X. And look for the words "You are a winner" on the attached voucher to win instantly. Now, all you have to do is present your winning voucher at any SMC semifinal or final shows, and also any eligible private shows for free entry. A total of 450 carnival show tickets are available for winning. So hope you're being part of that. Get involved today. And don't forget, when playing the Pick 3 game, you can bet as little as $1 on inline mix and pair tickets, and from $2 on backup tickets. Let's find out now what the winning numbers will be. It pays to play. Good luck. Check your tickets. First up is 5. Second 2. Final 2. It's a quick recap. Double check your tickets. First up was 5, the second 2, final 2. If you're a winner, congratulations to you. And let's find out what the winning Multi-X ball will be. Good luck. And the winning Multi-X ball is 3X. That's 3X. Congratulations again to all our winners for this morning. Also to our 34 winners from last evening. We had a total payout of $5,450. Up next, Playway with Multi-X. See you then. Welcome back. It's time for the mid-morning draw for Playway with Multi-X for today, Thursday, the 24th of July, 2025. Miss Aaliyah Malcolm is with me once again. She's here representing RSO Company Limited Accountants and Advisors. Don't forget, with the Playway game, you can be part of the NLA's Access Granted promotion. You can spend as little as $15 on Playway tickets for chances to win free entry to carnival shows. Don't forget that. And don't forget also, when you play the Playway game, all you got to do is bet as little as $1 up to $10 or in increments on any number or dream symbol of your choice, and get to win 24 times the amount you bet. That's $24 for every dollar spent. Let's find out firstly what the winning Playway number will be for this morning. Value your dreams, win your way with Playway. Good luck. Number is 9. That's 099. Dream symbol is cat. If you're a winner, congrats to you. Let's move on to Multi-X. Good luck. And the winning Multi-X ball is free play. So that's free play. To our winners, congratulations again, and to our 222 winners from last evening, congrats to you all. We had a total payout of $18,312. Do stick around if you have your tickets, because up next, Cash for a Draw with Multi-X. See you then. Welcome back once again. It's a mid-morning draw for the Daily Cash for game along with Multi-X for today, Thursday, the 24th of July, 2025. I've got Miss Aaliyah Malcolm joining me once again. She's here representing RSO and Company Limited accountants and advisors. Now, don't forget the access granted promotion is on and you can win free access to Carnival shows in the NLA's promotion access granted with purchases of $15 on the Daily Cash for game. And when playing this game, you can bet as little as $1 on most of the bet types with the exception of backup, in which case you bet $2. So if you got your tickets, it's time to reveal the winning numbers. It's more plays, bigger prizes. Good luck. Check your tickets. First up. First up is 5, second 3, third 7, final 5. Of course, I got to recap, double check your tickets. First up was 5, the second 3, third 7, final 5. Congratulations to our winners thus far. Let's move on now to Multi-X. Good luck to you. And the winning Multi-X ball. That's 5 eggs. If you're a big winner for this round, congratulations to you and to our 7 winners from last evening. Congrats to you all. We had a total payout of $6,200. Don't forget, access granted is back up for grabs. 450 tickets for winning. So be part of that today. And also don't forget to pick up your tickets for the midday draw. And do continue to support sports, culture, and nation building. Have a fantastic day.
What if you had a choice? A choice of joining a line or a choice of making your purchases online? What would you choose? While you ponder on that, the National Lotteries Authority has provided another purchasing option. All their games are now available online. Yes, Grenadians, from wherever you are, purchase your favorite daily and jackpot type games using any electronic device. Register on the NLA's website at www.nla.gd. Top up your account and enjoy online lottery gaming at your convenience. We're taking shopping comfort up several notches, but the choice is yours. Join a line or buy online. NLA, make your dreams come true.
JKT Entertainment is bringing the heat. It's time to feel the sound and smell the burn. Bass and burn, cars and noise. The automotive experience of the year. July 26th and 27th at the National Stadium Car Park. It's 2 days of adrenaline-fueled madness with over 30 show cars from Trinidad, including Lethal Auto, MacGyver Sounds, and Simplicity Creations, plus Grenada's own beasts, bringing the noise.
He'll say your back, come touch me then.
Early bird tickets are just $50. After that, it's $60. Get yours now at gotofed.com and all authorized ticket outlets. Gates open at 11 a.m. on both days. Sponsored by Country Cold Store, SP's International, Campari, Stag, Rubis, Fast Print, Waggy Tea, GMC, Rainbow Janitorial, Eco Blue, Spice Style Automotive, and McIntyre Brothers.
Sunrise Diagnostic Center is the place to visit for your medical laboratory test, ultrasound, X-ray, mammogram, ECG, and ultrasound guided and bone density test. Also available are COVID PCR and antigen tests. Most results are available within 24 hours. Sunrise Diagnostic Center is located at number 9 NS Building, Melville Street, St. George's, with sub-offices in Grand Anse, Wall Street, and Grenville, St. Andrew. Visit Sunrise Diagnostic Center today at any of their offices or call 440-3709 or cell phone 415-9522.
Calling the CARICOM community, assembling Global Africa, the 4th edition of the Afri-Caribbean Trade Investment Forum. Active 2025 is coming to St. George, Grenada, this 28th to 29th July. Join government and business leaders, investors, and trade and finance institutions to explore the theme, resilience and transformation, enhancing Africa-Caribbean economic cooperation in an era of global uncertainty. Be there as we stand together to strengthen our commercial ties, to promote shared trade and investment opportunities, and unlock prosperity for Africa, the Caribbean, and the wider diaspora. The 4th Afri-Caribbean Trade and Investment Forum. Reserve your place now at active2025.com.
A natural disaster can change your life in minutes. Preparation is the best protection for your family and business. Prepare now. Create a disaster plan and make sure everyone knows what to do. Store water, non-perishable food, and medication. Remember basic emergency supplies such as batteries and flashlights. Trim overhanging trees. If trees near power lines are unsafe to trim, call Grenlec at 237 for assistance or advice. Install surge protectors to safeguard your electrical devices against outages and intermittent surges. Make sure your generator has an isolation switch. It will prevent power from feeding to our lines and electrocuting others. For more information, visit grenlec.com.
Grenlec, energizing our Grenada.
Remembering our past, reclaiming our roots, empowering our future. On August 1st, Grenada will rally with the global African diaspora to celebrate Emancipation Day.
Bring down the power of love, I say. Bring down the power.
Let us bring down the power of freedom as Grenville comes alive with exciting cultural performances, exhibitions, food, fashion, and great speeches on August 1st. The day celebrations commence at 6 a.m. with an emancipation breakfast at the Grenville car park. At 4:30 p.m., the traditional mass bands will assemble at Dunfermline and head for Grenville, while the school marching bands will leave Progress Park at 5:30 p.m. and parade down to Soubise for the spectacular Flambeau March into Grenville at 6:30 p.m. At precisely the stroke of 8, the spotlight shifts to the Grenville bus terminal with an action-packed program of cultural presentations from the National Performing Company, Spiceland dancers, Cultural Train, Lion Pride, Tivoli drummers, spoken word poets, and top local calypsonians. There will also be a special reenactment of the Emancipation Proclamation. So put on your African wear and come to Grenville in your numbers on August 1st and bring down the power of love and freedom as we celebrate our emancipation. Buses available nationwide. Contact your parliamentary offices.
So, thank you very much, Leader of the Opposition. Yes, the Honorable MP for... No, I saw his light first. Honorable Member. MP for St. Patrick West.
With all due respect, I believe you're the
Just hold, Honorable Member, Honorable MP. Just on your thanks. Yeah. Go ahead, proceed.
I take the honor. Thank you very much, Mr. Speaker, for this opportunity to make my contribution on this very important bill, which I support unreservedly. Mr. Speaker, we say we support it. I grew up in Chantemelle, and I knew a guy named Bobot. We used to play football together. I support Bobot. Yeah? Bobot, we're on the other side, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, we here talk about haste. 51 years of a system. 51 years of doing it the same way. Why not next week? Why not next month? Why not today, Mr. Speaker? Mr. Speaker, while I'd be the first to admit that I don't even qualify to be a bush lawyer, I listened to Dr. Alexis, listened to Mr. Ruggles Ferguson, and if there was any doubt in my mind, those were swept away by the cogent arguments put forward by the learned gentleman on the question of whether or not we need a referendum to get this bill passed. Mr. Speaker, there are some elements of the Constitution that require a referendum in order for them to be passed. And there are some that do not. This particular one belonging to the latter category. I heard the honorable member for Senate, the honorable leader of the opposition, Mr. Speaker, saying we should not come to the parliament or words to that effect. I wish to remind this honorable House that even if we were to go the route of a referendum, we have to come to the parliament first. There is no getting around it, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, I wish to take about 90 seconds to clarify some misconceptions about the 2016 referendum. All of the facts are not presented. When you go to court, they ask you to speak not just the truth, but the whole truth and nothing but the truth. That 2016 referendum did contain some very good elements. One of the biggest problems, though, with the items was, to use an analogy, you show up for your wedding, and after the priest or the pastor pronounce your man and wife, and you believe you're going to your honeymoon with just your spouse, you see all cousin Neden coming in too. So while the bills had some good elements, they had all sorts of riders on them that made them unpalatable to a majority of the citizens of this country. Moreover, Mr. Speaker, the same people who sat in this parliament and approved the items to be voted on in the referendum cherry-picked items to support and others not to support. Again, using an analogy, you cook a pot of food, you invite people to eat by telling them, do it the pigtail, do it the dumpling. They themselves contributed to the failure of the effort, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, on the merits of the Oath of Allegiance Amendment Bill, I did it. Probably if I did not do it, I would not be sitting here today. I took the Oath of Allegiance and swore to then the Queen and her heirs and successors. Now it's the King, Mr. Speaker. Now, some things can be done in one fell swoop, and some other things are done incrementally. So because we will still be left with the King, it does not mean that we should not do the other things that we can do, Mr. Speaker. We are talking about people who put up all kinds of barriers, who build walls to keep us out. They do not want us among them. Visa restriction, ETA, watch list, blacklist, all kind of thing, because they do not want us to be with them and of them. So why should we, when the opportunity presents itself for us to continue the process of separation, try to hang on to it by using all kinds of frivolous excuses and arguments? Let us not forget the Windrush generation who went over to England to toil following World War II. They helped to take care of babies and old people. They worked in factories. They operated the trains and the buses. And at the end of the day, they were booted out, treated as lepers, Mr. Speaker. Is this what we want to be a part of? Or do we want to continue the furtherance of our independence, of our national sovereignty and dignity? Mr. Speaker, we're talking about people who refuse up to this day to acknowledge the genocide of slavery. Nowadays they talk about human trafficking and all kind of things like that. Our foreparents were bought and sold like bread and butter, like cattle. Why should we not want to stand on our feet and separate from something that has kept us down and still continues to try to keep us down, Mr. Speaker? They refuse to proffer a simple apology for the crime of slavery. An apology, Mr. Speaker. Why, therefore, should we try to continue swearing allegiance to them when they can't even say sorry for exploiting and subjugating our people? Mr. Speaker, the question of reparation. The people who suffered under the heel of the Nazis between 1939 and 1945, they were paid reparations. We hear calls being made for Russia to pay reparations to Ukraine whenever that war comes to an end. But some people want to pretend that the crimes that were committed against us did not happen. And if it did, it was my great-grandfather, so I have no responsibility. Mr. Speaker, they continue to benefit to this day because the institutions that profited, the Barclays Bank and all of them, they are still in existence. The different trusts and so on, they are still in existence and they continue to churn out profits. Yet, Mr. Speaker, they do not want to acknowledge that they owe us that. The enslavers were paid, but the victims were booted out to fend for themselves. Mr. Speaker, anyone who does not embrace the opportunity today to try to right an historical wrong, they will be seen by the Grenadian people. And your action or inaction will speak loudly and clearly as to where you stand on this important matter. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Thank you very much, Honourable MP for St. Patrick West. And I now invite the MP for St. George Northwest to take the floor.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, what I've heard throughout this entire session today, I do not know that there are much controversies related. While some statements were made about issues, didn't appear to me to have so much fundamental differences that require some of the statements I've heard. For the member for St. George's Northwest, this is what we're doing here today. That's no news for me, because my own person and feelings over the years have been clearly demonstrated my views on this fundamental matter. I was going back to the number of elections that I was part of since '84. And in counting, I saw 9 elections from '84 to 2022. And each time, Mr. Speaker, that we had to open the Parliament and each member had to vow allegiance to Her Majesty Queen Elizabeth, my throat used to hurt me. It used to hurt me. Queen, what I know about Queen, but that's the law. So what do? I pledge. I pledged. I didn't have no feelings, but I pledged because I had to stay in the Parliament. Maybe if I didn't pledge, they might tell me I can't be part of while the people in Northwest voted and sometimes gave me as much as 91% of the votes. I still had to pledge allegiance not to them, to the country, but to my mother, the Queen. So clearly, I don't know, can we have serious controversy? I think, as the opposition leader mentioned, the process, maybe we can look at this and we have statements to make on that matter. But the statement I'm going to make here is not pointed to members, personnel on the opposition side. Because the truth is I don't know where they were and what their positions were individually in the 2014-2016 when Dr. Alexis and his team labored together with the government of the day. So I can't really throw any statements about their support or lack of it as individuals, but their party, which they have a responsibility to defend, took an unfortunate position, a very unfortunate position. And if anything else, I thought when I heard members on the other side praising members of the Constitutional Commission, the citizens, and the member who led it, I believe there should be an apology, not praise, apology for not accepting the fact that they labored and gave enormous energy. That's something they believed in. To them it wasn't politics. And to us, it was not politics. And I remember way back in 1968, 69, the member who had been praised for his initiative in this exercise today, he took a very open, controversial position when the present king, who was Prince Charles, visited Barbados, and he was president of the Guild of Undergraduates at the time, and he stood in front of the queen, of the king, the prince then, and gave a black power salute, which became very controversial at the time in Barbados. So that Errol Barrow, the prime minister, then threatened to expel him from Barbados. So his position in this, I know it is for him and for people like myself who supported him then as part of the student body. This is not about politics. It's about inner self, your own being, Mr. Speaker. So I'm not here throwing any pick on anybody on the other side. I can't say I know. For example, the Prime Minister, I don't know he was a member of the NDC at the time. I don't know that, so I can't really say to him that, but he's leader, so maybe he has to apologize for his party for the position they took then, but that's up to him. That's not something I'm requesting. But I want to reinforce that the opposition leader was correct in statements related to this whole bill. And yes, I think the member for St. Andrews, St. Patrick West, made the point correctly. Yes, we had to come here to Parliament. You can't go in front of a referendum with any policy issue and not come to the Parliament. So I don't think the member with the opposition leader was saying that we should not be here. At what she was saying, we should go further. After passing it here, this should not be the last stage. I believe that's what she was trying to say. And therefore, the member for St. Patrick West is correct. Every bill that we decided on then came to the Parliament. The only objection I have to what he said we cherry pick. I don't think Dr. Alexis would be happy with this word because he was part of the entire process. What will be accepted at this time? What makes sense? So I would have loved to get everything passed. Knowing my position, I would love to have come here and passed every single thing. But it was accepted that we have to be realistic in going forward. So we give as much as we can take. In fact, it turned out that it was felt that we asked the people to too much at one time. And we know what happened. We know what happened then. So I just want to make this point. I don't need to speak at length on this because, as I said, my position in this is clear. So all I think I want to add is simply this. If we're serious about ourselves, we're serious about our children and grandchildren and their image, then we shouldn't just gloat about what we're doing here today. We should make a commitment going forward. So as the leader of the opposition said, yes, we passed this today, our allegiance to the king, but we still have the head of state. And since it appears that we are accepting that we may have to go to a referendum, so why not go to a referendum for everything? Why don't we go to a referendum for every single thing? That is what I believe that we should do. And I want to add, the head of state should be on, and the many other items which I'm sure the citizens for a constitutional reform would hope that we do, would certainly like to see many of the other items. Imagine putting Carriacou and Petite Martinique on the passport. Was objected to. And the people of Carriacou and Petite Martinique, because of advice from the political organization they supported, voted against it, which is to me sad, because to me it's so basic. And I'm sure, as I said, I can't say the president representative Carriacou was part of that because I don't know his position then. So, but the people of Carriacou and Petite Martinique, on advice, and my own view is that had the party, the political organization called the National Democratic Congress, had they supported it, the people would have passed it. We would not have to be here this morning with this. But I'm not saying that we should not be here. I'm saying had we done this, we probably should not. We would not have been here with this. So I'm making a fundamental point as I conclude. I can't give praise for something that I was supporting a long time ago and was not supported at a political level. But I suggest something else. Over the history of the parliamentary system in our country that we have adopted, there's so many things that clearly, and I heard it said, and I want to make a point on this, that we should have, I think it was a member for St. Andrews Southwest, said it, something like why it is, maybe not you, why it is that when we are passing, when we are having the change to bring in the independent constitution, why didn't the leadership then, I don't know if it was you, somebody said it, maybe it's the leader of government business, yeah. Why didn't the leaders then, poor these people then, they grew up in a colonial period. Even the question of getting independence was a problem. So they were so glad to have the independence by itself. And you remember, people were brought up to London, and they would just give them a document. They would just give them a document. This had nothing to do with the people of Grenada. People of Grenada had no say. I was a young boy at the time. They did not have a say. So I'm not going to sit here and blame them because I know what they went through. They took a lot of courage to make some of the decisions that they took, and I think we should thank them for it and not attempt to say why they didn't do it. So I just want to make this point for what it's worth. But to conclude, Mr. Speaker, I have seen over the years, and I believe it's something that should come forward in a referendum, because I assume that based on what was said here today, that there's going to be some initiative to go with those issues. And it will pass. You know why they will pass? Because this opposition and this new national party will not play games with what is right for the people. Especially in my case, we're at the twilight of my representation in this House. I don't want to go on record my own legacy to be opposing anything that someone later can say, why did he do this? No, I will be standing there with all of us making these changes. So I want to add one other change. I think it's fundamentally flawed that I go to the people in an election and say, vote for me. This is the best party, the best group, the best this. Give me the vote. An election is over, I take it and I go and I sell it to another organization. Where is the morality in this, Mr. Speaker? Where is the morality? You sell the votes of the people for 50 pieces of silver, and I must praise you for it. I say it's unconscionable. And this is not about one person, you know. This has happened over the years in this House, since the parliamentary system was in place. And standing in the same parliament, I want to condemn the organization from whom that gave you birth in the House of Representatives. And standing there without going back to the people and say, I seek a new mandate because I no longer want to be associated with this political organization. As the father of this House, a designation which I hope the present Prime Minister took issue with some time ago, is self-appointed. Dr. Alexis is here. So I can say that he designated this title. I offer the advice to my younger colleagues and those who may be still here post the next election. I don't know how many of you may make it, but that's going to be the choice of the people of the country. I can't predict what it will. I have my own estimation of what will happen, and since I won't be part of that process, I can only speak that I have one person that most likely will not be here. So I offer this last advice, Mr. Speaker, as I close, that this issue of changing my votes that the people give me and posing as representative of a new organization is fundamentally flawed. Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Give me some clap now, man. Give me a clap.
Thank you very much, Honorable MP, for the constituency of St. George Northwest. I invite the Honorable MP for the Great South to take the floor.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, I rise today to bring back some perspective, Mr. Speaker, and some sense into this debate. Mr. Speaker, I rise today in full support of the bill before this Honourable House to amend the oath of allegiance, replacing reference to His Majesty King Charles III with an allegiance to the people and state of Grenada. This moment is not merely symbolic, it is profoundly nationalistic. It is fundamentally Caribbean, and above all, it is authentically Grenadian. Mr. Speaker, time and time again in this House, we see that some people are in support of change once it is coming from them. Mr. Speaker, imagine I have to take the oath and I have to remember his heirs and successors are not heirs and successors. I want to remember Grenada, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, I also want to thank the members of the CCR, and let me just correct the leader of Her Majesty Opposition. It's not CRC, but it is CCR. And Mr. Speaker, I want to remember the words of Robert Nesta Marley. Emancipate yourself from mental slavery. None but ourselves can free our minds.
Honourable Member, I just want to briefly interrupt you as I switch with the Deputy Chair.
Madam Deputy Speaker in the chair.
Member for the South of St. George, you may continue.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. Madam Deputy Speaker. And again, I want to repeat those words because it is very profound. Emancipate yourself from mental slavery. None but ourselves can free our minds. Madam Deputy Speaker, those words are very important. And I believe those words were futuristic because I cannot comprehend, Madam Speaker, Deputy Speaker, that in 2025 we are in this House debating whether we should be pledging allegiance to King Charles III and not Grenada. Madam Deputy Speaker, I also hear the argument about the people. But Madam Deputy Speaker, I ask myself, who are the one taking the oath? Who are the one taking the oath? Is it us? So I want us to stop engaging in the hypocrisy, Madam Deputy Speaker. And even going back to the referendum, speaking about it was rejected, when according to the member of St. Patrick's West, that item was included in a number of different items that was not accepted by the people. And Madam Deputy Speaker, in case there's an argument that if this should be taken to a referendum or not, I want to educate the members on the other side about our Constitution that makes reference to that. Madam Deputy Speaker, in section 39(5) of the Constitution, it specifies that any alteration to Schedule 1 or any provision listed in Part 1 of Schedule 1 requires a referendum with at least 2/3 support of a public vote. After passing both houses with the required parliamentary majorities, Schedule 1 constitutes the master list of entrenched constitutional provisions that strictly require a referendum to change. However, Madam Deputy Speaker, Schedule 3, which contains the oath of allegiance, for example, who state officials swear to, currently to the Crown, is not listed in Schedule 1. And as such, is not an entrenched provision and is not subject to the referendum requirement in section 39(5). Madam Deputy Speaker, because Schedule 3 is excluded from the master list, amending the oath of allegiance does not legally require a public referendum.
Member for the South of St. George, I beg you to pause for a moment so that I can exchange with the Speaker of the House. Thank you.
Mr. Speaker, just watching the time, it's 2 minutes off for the changing, so just making notes.
Please proceed, your time will be taken care of.
Good.
In the chair.
Instead, the amendment can be accomplished through Parliament, specifically with a 2/3 majority in the House of Representatives and a simple majority in the Senate, followed by the Governor General's assent. Mr. Speaker, here is the Constitution giving us the authority in Parliament to make such changes. And Mr. Speaker, the members of the opposition are making an argument that we should go to a referendum. The question is why? We here in the House, in the lower house, have the authority to make the change based on a 2/3 majority vote. So, Mr. Speaker, and I started by saying, emancipate ourselves from mental slavery. We have the power, Mr. Speaker, to free our minds. And the Parliament has given us the authority and the power to free our minds, Mr. Speaker, and I beg all of us here to use it. Mr. Speaker, Grenada has long stood as a proud, independent nation, rich in culture, vibrant in democracy, and resilient in identity. While history has shaped our journey, our allegiance must reflect our present and point to our future. To continue to swear allegiance to a foreign monarch, Mr. Speaker, however ceremonially, is no longer aligned with the spirit of a sovereign people. This bill simply makes our words catch up with our reality. Let us recall the words we teach our children in the morning. I pledge allegiance to my flag and to the country for which it stands. To serve my country and to do all in my power to help develop its people. There is no mention of monarchy in that pledge. There's no call to serve as a sovereign overseas. The pledge is to Grenada, and that is exactly where our oath of allegiance should stand. Mr. Speaker, let's take our national anthem. The melody that moves every official ceremony declares, "Hail Grenada, land of ours." Also says, "Ever conscious of God, being proud of our heritage, may we with faith and courage aspire, build, advance." Where in these sacred lines is there any call to uphold the interests of a monarch or foreign crown? There is none. Mr. Speaker, the anthem is a call to nation building, to unity, and to service to Grenada. But this bill is not a rejection of history, Mr. Speaker. It is a reclamation of identity. It is not a break from civility. It is a bond with sovereignty. It is not anti-monarch, Mr. Speaker. It is pro-Grenada. Mr. Speaker, as Member of Parliament from St. George South, I represent a constituency that is home to educators, nurses, farmers, entrepreneurs, people who work every day for Grenada and not for an institution thousands of miles away. They deserve a leadership that pledges to serve them and not a symbolic crown. Mr. Speaker, this bill is a step forward, small in words, but mighty in meaning. It aligns our laws with our pledge, with our anthem, and with our national conscience. So today, I proudly cast my support behind this amendment because my allegiance, like the people's, belongs first and forever to Grenada. Mr. Speaker, let me just mention this before I close, because one of the best teachers I had in university was one called Lennox Andrews. Today he's Minister Lennox Andrews. Mr. Speaker, everyone, since in school, I remember the minister wearing his tie like this. And even in government, he's criticized for wearing his tie like this. And today we have on the same tie. Like this. And the reason why he wears his ties like this was to show rebellion to colonialism, Mr. Speaker. To show that as a Grenadian, he does not agree with the fact that we have to be worshipping the same folks who had us under bondage, Mr. Speaker. And Mr. Speaker, today I ask the opposition side